We start the second hour. Oregon-Iowa week is here.
Hey, welcome to Iowa week, everybody.
Kinnick Stadium. I was reading an article on stadiums, and there's a lot of Big Ten writers that rank it the most underrated in the conference.
I think it's a good size stadium. It has one of the coolest traditions in all of the sport, waving to the hospital at the end of the first quarter. And there's little old school nuance touches that exist. Like their opponent locker room is painted pink.
Is it still pink?
It's still pink to this day, which is just
that goes
fun
back to the Hayden Fry days, doesn't it?
Forever ago. I mean, that's one of those cool touches of like, yeah, you come to town, opposing locker room, it's good to be pink. I love little touches like that. It seems like of the bucket list stadiums, it's near the top of the list in the Big Ten for me.
I think that would be a definite one for me if I was a diehard Duck fan. I look at the schedule. And it's easy to say like Penn State, right?
Yes, go to a whiteout game would be awesome.
And it was an awesome atmosphere, but I'm thinking about their road games. I think this would have been my second
without a doubt
choice
this year.
It's either that or Wisconsin.
Wisconsin last year would have been pretty cool.
They're so depressing to watch. I want to go to Wisconsin when jump around feels...
Yeah, when they're good.
Yeah, like when they're old school Wisconsin, this is going to be a bloodbath physically.
I also feel like Iowa fan is a fun fan to hang out with, and I've never really interacted with Iowa fans, although I did see a guy in the neighborhood yesterday walking around with an Iowa shirt. I thought he was going to yell something at me in my Duck jacket. I thought, well, that's interesting. There's an Iowa fan in the neighborhood.
There's lots of little pockets. When we go up to Kraken games, if we go on Saturday, the little sports bar we go to right near there is a Iowa alumni watch party for their games.
That's random.
And they're all decked out, but like former band members bringing their saxophones and stuff in there playing the fight song when they score.
That's pretty cool.
Totally random. There's like 20 of them.
They seem like they wear punt sweatshirts. They got a good sense of humor. Like
they know who they are.
They know what the program is. They're proud. They're prideful. But they seem like a fun bunch to hang out.
Getting there is somewhat of an ordeal, but once you get there, I think you'd have a great time.
Is it an ordeal?
From Portland, I don't know how many hops you have to take to get to Iowa City.
Yeah, what's the closest big airport?
Probably Chicago or St. Louis.
Like, what's worse to get to, Penn State or Iowa?
Yeah, and we did this with the Penn State game, but then we had Duck fans ended up saying there were some places that allowed you to get a direct flight into State College.
So maybe they do that for these kinds of games?
Maybe the same thing exists. I don't know.
I think I'm sure there's an airport in Iowa City. I just don't think there's anything direct from Portland. So.
If you're curious how the online Hawkeye fan feels, how about this one in the Iowa Reddit page? I wanted to make sure I kept this one. Live in Oregon hate this week on the Ducks, and the comment says they're like your white trash cousin that wins the lottery and now goes to Red Lobster and think they're better than you. Oregon without Crypt Keeper Phil Knight is Oregon State. Hopefully Dan Lanning does Dan Lanning things and goes for it on fourth down and inopportune times. Tell your OC to run the ball. The front seven is soft and will buckle. Go Hawkeyes.
I love it, dude. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I don't need to send that to
because they need to have, if they
Mm-hmm.
house them, there needs to be some cheddar biscuits on the sideline.
That is so good.
I think the wave, if they're up big, by that point is going to be a really nice,
well, that's why they do that in between the first
do
and
it in the
second
first
quarters,
quarter, early
not the
in
third
the
and
game.
fourth quarter.
Just in case this thing goes sideways.
Yeah, so that's where Iowa fan could be right now.
I love it, dude.
We got to learn to hate these people. They're calling you the white trash cousin.
I mean, look, we got some white trash vibes in us. I'm not going to lie. You have to be able to look in the mirror and acknowledge your faults.
No, Eugene's an interesting place.
There's Duck fans in Medford. They exist. I get it. So we got some folks who go to Walmart.
Why did Medford just take a shot?
There's some
Medford's nice.
There's some Grants Pass Duck fans down there.
Medford's actually a metropolitan area.
You sure about that?
In between Eugene and Medford, there's some.
You sure about that?
There's some interesting stops.
Some of us smoke meth and go to Walmart. It's okay. All right. What do you want from us? We're not a perfect bunch. We're eclectic. We're unique.
I've been to Grants Pass, and
my favorite, I saw an Iowa fan who was trying to claim that they lived in Oregon back before Oregon exploded and tried to make the argument in the 1990s that D3 football teams were more popular than Oregon in the 1990s. It's like, when I lived there, the D3 teams were more popular. It's like, look, I know that Oregon has exploded in popularity and changed the look as a program over the last 40 or so years. That's not like Oregon has always had a decent following. Autzen has always been a hard place to go play. No, maybe not in the 1970s, but if you're going 1990s on me, just stop it, okay?
You know the last time Oregon was at Iowa City?
I do not know that.
19 89.
Hey, look at that. Year I was born.
They won 44-6.
Suck it, Hawkeyes.
And the last time the two played,
but I thought we were a terrible program before Phil Knight. Well, how could we ever beat a mighty program like Iowa before Phil Knight showed up?
Was Phil Knight not alive in 1989?
He was. He wasn't donating the program yet, though. That might have been an Anthony Newman team. Was he on the Ducks in 89?
He's your co-host.
I should know that.
You should know that. If you don't, I'm going to text him and tell him Dirt doesn't know anything about you.
Well, if he's there, that gives us something to talk about. No.
He was 85,
He
right?
might have already been in the NFL.
84?
Yeah, I think he was in the NFL.
He's like an 83, 84, 85
I think 86
guy, right?
was his last year.
Okay.
86 was his last year.
And then Oregon defeated Iowa when they played in Eugene in 1994, 40-18.
So we're 2-0 all time against Iowa? We're undefeated?
2-1.
You're 1-2.
Oh, okay.
You lost in 1949.
That doesn't count.
34-31 in Iowa City.
Okay.
And if you believe that history is going to repeat itself, the Ducks are averaging 38.3 points per game in the 3 meetings. I always love when you have to go back to 94 and 89 and 49.
Like those have any bearing on this game or count. All time. I like the numbers historically. Yeah, because it's the same team as it was in 1989.
Why do they show those graphics in football, like NFL and college? Will they be like, all time Y.A. Tittle last score? And it's like, why does that matter in this game whatsoever?
Has no bearing on what's going to happen on Saturday at Kinnick Stadium. It's going to be a tough game, despite the fact that Oregon has dominated it clearly the last 2 times they played it.
Well, it is going to be a tough one. Interesting little nugget here, just to the matchup in general. And we'll get to the daily ticker. It's going to be an audio ticker. We got a couple stops from our friends Dan Lanning, Bill Conley, and Adam Rittenberg on this one. FanDuel opened this one at 6.5 on Sunday, and the over-under is at 42.5. It's dropped to 5.5, but the over-under went up a point, 43.5.
That's interesting. That's an interesting turn. You'd think if you're leaning Iowa to win, it would probably be the opposite direction, or Iowa to cover, I should say. I think your guess would be it's going to be a lower-scoring game if Iowa covers, and so I would tend to think Iowa and the under would be the combo bet, but the over going up is interesting.
The Ducks are 2 spots behind Iowa nationally in scoring defense. They're coming in at 6th in the country, giving up 13.5 points per game. They have the country's top passing defense, giving up only 124.6 yards per game through the air. And their defense, the rush defense, is giving up 114.8 yards per game, which is 31st nationally.
2 pretty good defenses going into this game. That's one thing that I think both teams can hang their hat on, and then the question becomes the other side of the ball. Can Oregon's offense figure it out, and can Iowa throw it, or do they even need to throw it? Can Oregon slow down their rushing attack?
Are we, let me ask you this, because I want to go to the ticker here. Are we excited about the idea of the game more so than the actual game itself? Because I've been noting how people are registering this one, and I do think I was going to be ranked tonight. So to your point earlier, this might be a top 25 matchup.
They should be. What are they, 6-2 right now in the Big
6-2.
Ten? In both their games, they lost a 1-score game at home, 20-15, because they took a late safety was the final. But it's a 1-possession game against the number 2 team in the country in Indiana.
They pushed them.
And the other one, I want to say, was Iowa State hit a long field goal with like a minute to go early in the year, and then they had the ball with a chance to win it. And they couldn't do it offensively. But they've lost 2 games by a combined 7 points this year.
But is this an actual, you're excited to see on the field game versus you're excited that it's a potentially ranked matchup that helps your resume?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
They're a tough watch sometimes.
Dude, without a doubt. If you're not a Duck fan, I get why this game isn't screaming to you ooh, get your popcorn out. It might be a little low. I mean, what was the over-under? 40.5?
43.5
43.5. It's a pretty low over-under for a college football game. Not often do you see those, but they usually are included in Iowa games when they happen. I'm excited for the matchup and how it's going to look, just for the lessons that we're going to learn about Oregon and how do they handle a really good defensive team in a tough environment. That's a really good front seven. How does your quarterback look? How does he handle it? I'm going to continue to say this because I feel it, and maybe it ends up being wrong, but I feel like this game kind of dictates the rest of Oregon's season. I'm a believer that Oregon at 10-2 gets into the college football playoff. I just think we're heading for more chaos. Miami lost, Georgia Tech lost, Vanderbilt lost. I just think that's how the month of November is going to go. We are in the witching hour of the college football season, if you will, where playoffs become non-playoffs and non-playoffs become playoffs. So I think 10-2 will be good enough to get in. If you win this game, I have a hard time seeing you lose 2 more times. I'm not saying USC can't beat you. I'm not saying Washington can't beat you, but I don't see you losing both of those games, and so that's why this one is so pivotal for me. If you lose this game, then you're faced with, okay, can we run the table the rest of the way? And if you don't, then you're not a playoff team, and it's a disappointing season. So I'm psyched just to see how they handle the challenge, and then also the reality of there's a lot on the line this weekend for the rest of your year.
So that to me, and I know we need to go, but that to me, you're more saying anything but the actual
Well, I'm just
game.
I'm excited about the matchup of how does Oregon's offense handle this defense?
The styles, right?
Just the
contrasting styles in some ways.
Can they avoid playing the style that Iowa's going to want them to play, and that is dragging you into the deep end and trying to drown you in the fourth quarter in a limited possession game? Can you avoid that?
I like that. How did you describe that? You called it, this is the witching hour of the college football season.
That's what November is, dude.
I think that's great. What did you say? The playoffs become no playoffs and no playoffs become playoffs? I like
this. This is Miami, dude. Like, they can't win games. There will be teams that we're looking at right now saying, oh, that's a play. And maybe Oregon is one of them, saying that's a playoff team, and then it's going to snap of the finger, it's gone.